How often do you get out of your comfort zone? Are you willing to push your vehicle to its limits? Do you have the courage to tackle what Mother Nature throws at you? I can tell you that sometimes doing the hard things deep off the grid makes for the best adventures. Over the next few days, I join up with my good friend Nate from the YouTube channel Dirt Lifestyle to help him develop a 300+ mile Southern California Rocklander route, which is going to be part of a series of epic adventure routes he is creating across the country. And our time together on this adventure was full of many challenges and surprises along the way that neither of us are going to forget anytime soon.
Well, you wouldn't know of it by the looks of it, but I'm in Southern California and I'm here with my good friend Nate from Dirt Lifestyle, and he brought all the weather with him down from the Pacific Northwest, and they just got almost a foot of snow up here, and he and I have been planning a trip for months, and well, we're going to execute this trip as best we can, and he is going to be filming this epic adventure video, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I'm going to do a little bit more behind the scenes, a little more vlog style on this trip. I am battling a little bit of an injury, but we're gonna have a whole lot of fun. I'm gonna take you with us. We're gonna see these amazing vehicles out on the trail, and we're gonna camp along the way. So we're gonna be working our way all the way south, a couple 100 miles. Should be a fun trip, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Now, I brought out the JK for this trip because I think it's appropriate. We're gonna hit some difficult trails. They're gonna be covered in snow, at least for the first day or two, and then we'll be working our way down to the desert. But I am airing down right now, and I'm probably gonna go down to probably around 8 PSI, maybe lower. We'll just see how the trail conditions are. And there's one old set of tracks down there, and so I think we're gonna have some pretty good fresh powder. And then this is Nate's incredible Tacoma build, and he is on 39-inch tires, and he's got a rooftop tent up there, so at least if we're camping in the snow, he's going to be high and dry. I bought a ground tent, and we'll have to figure that out. But Nate, I just want to say thanks for bringing the weather. Thanks for bringing the weather, buddy.
Always gotta bring something.
You ready for this trip?
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so nice, and it's good. I'm looking forward to the diversity. I have a feeling we're gonna start in the snow and then end in not the snow, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see if we can find some sunshine. It should be good. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish airing down, and then we're heading that way.
We are beginning the first leg of our trip high in the San Bernardino Mountains on the west side of Holcomb Valley Trail. And we are hoping the trail conditions allow us to reach Holcomb Creek Trail, which will be the first big technical challenge along this route. I've been up here many times before over the years, but never in conditions like this, and I'm loving every second of it. Now, Nate and I have been talking about this trip for several months, and we'd had a few calls going over the route, and while we have a solid plan, we're going to have to be very flexible. There is more snow in the forecast, lots of rain at lower elevation, and high winds in the desert. So we may have to make a few adjustments based on some of the conditions and camping locations, but that's what adventure is all about. Okay, let's see how things go for these first few miles. I have not been out in the snow in a while. You know, we don't get these kind of days very often, but it's gorgeous, gorgeous out here. And so much fun to be out here with Nate because he snow wheels all the time. So I'm gonna lean on him a little bit for experience. Just talking about tire pressure when we were airing down, I was going down to 8, he went all the way down to 5, and he's like, we can go lower if we need to, and we may need to. So we are on Holcomb Valley Trail, and we are going to attempt Holcomb Valley Creek in this snow. Now, Nate is filming what's called a Rocklander Route, and I'm helping him out with it. I'm super excited for what he's putting together, which is going to be these long trips where you're doing hard trails, and then he's going to have these routes available for folks so they can go run them. I think it's a super cool idea. I'm excited to see what happens, but we are going to be getting all kinds of weather conditions, and so
this snow and cold is just the beginning. We'll see how things go. Camp could be interesting over the next couple days, but I'm excited to take you guys along. This is gonna be a whole lot of fun. All right guys, we've just stopped here because we just got to the trailhead for Holcomb Creek, and coming down here we didn't know what the trail conditions were gonna be like. We thought that this might be just packed with snow and we'd be driving right over it, but we've come down in elevation a little bit and the snow level isn't quite as thick here, so it's gonna be wet, but we're gonna be playing on the rocks. I've done this trail a few times over the years. It's always fun, but I'm excited to see what Nate thinks. But we're gonna be going through these rocks and then climbing up the mountains, and I'm sure as we go up in elevation, we're gonna see some more snow.
Now this is the west side gatekeeper to Holcomb Creek, and it actually looks way more intimidating than it is. It's pretty easy to navigate through here if you just pick the right line and take your time. This, however, is only a small taste of what's to come on this trail. There are much harder obstacles than this. Nate was bouncing from rock to rock through here with his camera. It's always fun to watch another YouTuber in action. And I helped him film with his camera as his truck came through. And I think this is gonna be some pretty epic footage. I will leave a link down below for his production of this adventure once it's released. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. After clearing the gatekeeper, we made our way a few miles into the trail, and we both had a lot of anticipation about the next big rock garden ahead. There was just one small problem we ran into. Well, actually, it wasn't very small at all.
Well guys, things just got a little interesting on the trail. This is a very big tree that has fallen across. I have a handsaw, but even if we had a chainsaw, this is a monster. This is a monster of a tree. Oh no. And we haven't even really got to the good obstacles yet. Well, that stinks. That really just threw our entire day off because we were supposed to finish this trail and then head back on the road and do Gold Mountain. And now we got to backtrack and then do quite a few road miles to get to where we're going. And it may put us time distance wise kind of not ready to do Gold Mountain. So I'm gonna see what time it is after we get off here. We're gonna have to air up too on the road because we just have to put in so many road miles. I'm doing it, I have to do like a 20-point turn here, but we'll see how this goes. But this is the nature of adventure, guys. Sometimes plans change, and today plans change, but you know what? I don't care. This is gorgeous out here, and I'm just happy to be wheeling the JK. All right, we are back on the pavement and heading up to Big Bear very slowly because nobody seems to know how to drive when there's snow on the ground. But we're making a big detour. So the plan was to put in as many dirt miles as possible, not to get on the pavement, but that tree across the trail just stopped us dead in our tracks. And you know what's funny is I have a DeWalt electric chainsaw sitting on the floor in my garage right now, and I didn't put it in here because I've never needed it when I'm out on these kind of trips. And honestly, I don't even have a place, I'm waving at another Jeep, another place to put it. So I don't know, it's kind of one of those things I just kind of live without, and I just take a handsaw, but today it would have been nice to have it. So the plan now is to get all the way up the mountain, and then we're going to start working our way down the backside, and we'll kind of see what time it is and whether or not we camp at kind of higher elevation, maybe in the snow, maybe down to the snow, or we're even talking about, you know, we'll just complete the route up here in the San Bernardino forest and start heading towards the desert. I mean, we could probably still be there by late dinner time. So this is the adventure. We'll see how it goes.
With these road conditions, it took us much longer than expected to make our way to the east side of the mountain range, but eventually we were back on the dirt and dropping in elevation.
All right guys, it is 33 degrees out. It is still windy, it's still cold. We've dropped about 1,000 feet in elevation going down Burns Canyon, and we're just still trying to figure out, do we want to press on and get off the trail and head for the desert where it's a little warmer, or are we going to find a spot to camp? Not really making the decision just yet. We're going to see how things go. But we just did run across a Jeep and a 4Runner coming up the trail, and they said the trail conditions are good, so it should mean that the snow shouldn't hinder us. There's not a lot of snow here like there was on the other side of the mountain, which is pretty interesting. But what a great adventure, man. What a great adventure today. I mean, it's not going as planned, but it's all good.
Now, we could have stopped while there was still daylight and camped at many spots along the way down the mountain, especially among the Joshua trees, where there are some incredibly beautiful campsites. But Nate and I both decided we want to start our day on some good technical obstacles tomorrow. So we opted to drive a couple hours into the night to a place called Cougar Buttes. And as you will see tomorrow, the extra driving time we put in tonight ended up being totally worth it.
Good morning, guys. I am enjoying my second cup of coffee. It's about 37 degrees this morning, and we are in an amazing place in what looks like Alabama Hills. Honestly, you could easily mistaken this place for Alabama Hills, but this is what's called Cougar Buttes, and there's some fun rocks out here to play on, and so we're gonna go have some fun, have a little adventure this morning, and then work our way south and continue on kind of the predetermined route that we planned. Now, we may call an audible again. We'll just kind of see how it goes, but we want to make sure that we put together a really good route for Nate. But right now, I'm gonna enjoy some coffee, enjoy this beautiful morning, and we'll pack up here in a little bit and start to get after it. Don't you hate it when you forget something on the trip, Nate?
Forget what? I might have forgot my burner.
It's all good.
And I have a few, but I didn't think about needing to cook my stuff.
It's all good.
I was just visualizing myself like, eating it.
Yeah. All right. Recap from yesterday. Thoughts on the trail that we sort of did?
Dude, I'm like desperately wanting to come back and finish that.
Yeah.
You could tell that it was going to be a sweet one. The views were awesome. And then, of course, last night Brad shows me videos of what the rest of it's like, and it's so rad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to come back and do that one.
Okay. Talk to me about this place, man. This was an audible you called last night. What do we got here?
I just heard about this place a couple of years ago, and we
Okay.
came out like on a lark on our way out of Johnson Valley, out of King and Hammers. And I've wanted to come back, and this, I don't know if this will end up on the route. I'm gonna try to make it end up on the route, but it's just such a cool spot.
Yeah. It was a great spot for camp last night.
Yeah.
So, perfect. Well, I'm excited to see what the day holds for us, man.
Me too.
And just to confirm, yes, this next section of Epic Trail is on the SoCal Rocklander Route. After packing up camp and airing down, it's time to get after it.
All right, guys. We are set to go, and we're going to do a trail called Bullfrog, which is a short little trail, but it's supposed to be a 7 out of 10, so it should be pretty interesting. Excited to see how this is going to go. We're in the right vehicle, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that approach is so much better than the taco. Higher in the air, I love it.
That's steep. She's climbing up. This is some grippy rock right here. Oh yeah, it's steep. I can't even see over the hood.
We were having an absolute blast on Bullfrog, and this section here was fun and challenging, and the JK was making easy work of it, right up until I got to this small climb. For some unknown reason, I was losing power right at the top. Not something I had ever experienced before in this Jeep, and thankfully, after a couple of attempts, I was able to crawl my way out,
over just a hair.
I never experienced it again. Still, no idea why this was happening. I was just being a little temperamental today, I guess.
Hard driver. Oh yeah. Nice work. What's going on?
I don't know, buddy. It died once, and then coming up that really steep incline, it just lost power, and I had to back out, go at it again, and just kind of get on the throttle a little more. It's never done that before, so interesting.
You know whose fault it is? It's our fault. Last night we were talking about how it's like, dude, this thing has been flawless.
Yeah.
Like the whole time you got it.
This has been my boy.
I can't believe we said it out loud.
Yeah.
Well, let's let it just idle and cool. And I bet you sometimes these transmissions are a little funky at inclines. I'm hoping that's all it is.
Yeah, I think we're good. I mean, there's no...
Cougar Buttes is a very cool place. This is an open ride area, so there's multiple different lines that you can take through some of these obstacles, and some of them are pretty gnarly. I mean, I wouldn't come do this unless I had a buggy through some of them, but you know, this is what the JK is built for, and this is a lot of fun. It's really performing well, except for that little stall issue coming up that climb. Otherwise, it's doing really well. And you know, it's good to be out here with Nate because he enjoys this stuff. He's got some good skills, and so we're just kind of cruising along through this stuff. I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea, but you know, the purpose of this route is to make it difficult, and it's a whole lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. Making our way out, and we're gonna go air up and start heading south to our next destination. But I think I've told Nate several times today that this place looks just like Alabama Hills. I mean, you could mistaken it for sure with the snow-capped mountains in the background, these massive boulders. It's just a beautiful spot. And what's crazy is we're out here on a Saturday and we've just seen nobody, just like two guys on dirt bikes, and that's it. I think this is a place that I'll come back to. I was here like 4 years ago, but I didn't really explore it. I would like to come back here and check out some more of these trails. A little mild stuff, I think, unless I'm with somebody, but I think you can come out here and have a nice little adventure. Leaving Cougar Buttes in our rearview mirrors, we hit the hardball for about 2 hours, heading south for the next leg of our route, which will take us to a well-known challenging trail in the area of the Pinyon Mountain. Because it's winter and the sun sets a little early this time of year, we are most likely going to find camp for the evening and then tackle the trail tomorrow bright and early. We did make one short stop on the way that is fitting as part of the Rocklander route, and this is Truck Haven. This is a free off-road playground located in Ocotillo Wells that has easy to some very difficult obstacles. You can put your off-road skills to the test. I've come here many times over the years. It is just a great place to really test your driving skills, your vehicle clearance, your suspension articulation in a bit of a controlled environment. Now, we could have had fun here for a while, but we couldn't stay long. We still have about another hour to get to the trailhead.
Well guys, it's just after 4:30 and we've been on the road for a few hours and we just arrived to the Pinion Head trailhead. And so we're not gonna do Pinion Mountain tonight. We're just gonna go up there and look for a camp spot. And then tomorrow, we're gonna try to get these two wide vehicles through the squeeze and down Pinion Mountain. Should be a lot of fun, but we've got wind again tonight, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully it dies down. All right, we found camp. We've been driving for about a half hour coming up the mountain. Actually made some pretty good time coming up. And we looked at a couple spots, but this one is nice, flat, open, and we've got a little bit of rock wall protection right here. But the good news is the wind is pretty much gone. It's a little chilly up here, but there is no more wind. But we've got a good spot. Now we just need to figure out what the dinner plan is. I got steaks.
Steaks. I got steaks too.
Oh, steaks sound good.
Steaks. One of us will supply steaks.
Yeah.
Then one of us will supply a heating source.
I will get the fire pit going because it's chilly. Good spot, huh, buddy?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, camp's all set up. Didn't take long because all he needed to do was get level and open his rooftop tent, which is nice to have. Little campfire and chairs, a little propane fire heater. We're gonna need that because it's gonna be chilly. And then I've already set up the kitchen over here. We're gonna cook up a couple steaks, some peppers and onions. I've got the shift pod I'm sleeping in tonight. I've got a 0-degree sleeping bag. I've got a down blanket, and I've got the Mr. Buddy heater. We're anticipating it'll probably be pretty chilly tonight. Last night it was 35s. It may get equally as cold tonight. We'll see. Hopefully not, but we're just gonna enjoy this evening while we still have some light. Well guys, I was smart enough to install a light back here so you could see when you're cooking, but it's yellow, so everything is amber. But Nate whipped out a cast iron pot and he's like, hey, you want to use this? I was like, if you have a cast iron pan, you probably know how to cook a steak a little bit better than me. So he's taken over, he's seasoned them up, and they are sizzling and smelling good. Thank you, buddy, for taking on the steak duty. Appreciate it.
My friend.
Good morning. It is just after 7. I just filled up my first cup of coffee. We are getting our day started. Nate is over here working on some, what he's calling a Kodiak man pancake. So I'm excited to see what that's all about. We got some pretty good rain last night. It is chilly this morning, and I have a Mr. Buddy heater, and I put that in the tent, and this morning reached over, went to turn it on, click, 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 nothing. And when you bring one of those, you're kind of like, oh, I can't wait, turn that on and then haul back in the sleeping bag. And then when I get up, it'll be nice and toasty while I'm getting dressed in the morning. And well, that failed. Mr. Buddy heater did not work this morning. And of course, I show Nate what's going on. I show it to him and, oh, hey, look, now it works. Amazing how that is. Okay, so we got some rain last night, and that meant everything got wet, including my little box of gear here I'm going to show you. Yeah, so I went to bed, and it was, it was cold last night. It was dry, but I left the lid off, and so now all my kitchen gear is good and wet. But it's all right. Sun's coming up. It's gonna dry. And look at this. This is, that's a man pancake. That's massive. That's massive. Nate, my friend,
Yes, sir.
how'd you sleep?
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah, it's just, I'm used to sleeping in the really, really cold in the Great Wide North.
Yeah.
So this is not, we had to be in the 30s somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
But still.
Yeah.
Still pretty good.
Well, sun's coming up. And we're gonna get our day started. There it is. Sun's right there. Okay, so here's the deal. We're gonna have breakfast and pack up, let our stuff dry out just a little bit before we pack things up. And then we're gonna continue down Pinion Mountain. Pinion Mountain Trail is a Jeep Badge of Honor trail. And the first obstacle as we're gonna peak this mountain is what's called the squeeze. And I haven't done this trail in a few years. It's a tight technical section. It's really tight, as you'll see later. But our concern is, can we actually get Nate's Tacoma through it? Because he is very wide. His axles and tires are wide, and not only that, his fenders are as wide as his mirrors. And so we're gonna go attempt it and see, just kind of work our way in and see if it works, but we may not be able to go through because we're not interested in any body damage. And so what we need to do is circle around and go do the rest of the trail, because he's mapping this for the Rocklander route that he's creating. And then we'll finish the day out here in Anza Borrego and work our way south. So that's kind of the plan. I gotta tell you, so far, this trip's been incredible. It really has been a lot of fun. And hanging out with Nate he's a good dude. We had some good talks around the campfire last night. So, all right, more coffee, one man pancake, pack up, we're out of here. All right, I don't think there's a better way to start off your day than a man pancake. It smells good. It's so big, dude. It's so big.
Not bad, right?
Mm.
For like an instant pancake?
Dude, that's really good, actually.
Yeah.
That's perfect on a cold morning like this. Thank you for making these, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Super good.
Marco, I'm coming for your job, buddy.
All right, guys. The adventure continues. We are all packed up. We're gonna head to the top of the mountain. We're gonna see if we can get Nate through Pinion Mountain. We'll see. This is gonna be a lot of fun. But I gotta say, when we started out this trip, the weather was supposed to be just nasty for several days. And we have had 2 incredible nights and evenings. So we are lucking out with the weather for sure. I hope this continues. All right, we have reached obstacle number 1, and this is the most important one, and this is the squeeze. We've got some big boulders you got to get through to get here, but that's not the issue. The issue is getting through here.
The squeeze at Pinion Mountain is notorious for scratching up and ripping off fenders. Typically because as you come through, the vehicle wants to drop forward and roll towards the passenger side. And these rock wall sides are not smooth, so you really need to take your time. We took some measurements of both the rock wall and the wheelbase of Nate's Tacoma, thinking that would be the most critical part. After taking the measurements, Nate decided to try and climb the wall a little bit, as that might be the best approach. And well, it wasn't. Nate just couldn't get that driver's tire high enough to keep the truck from leaning too far on the passenger side. So the next attempt was more of a straight-on approach. This actually started to look like it was going to work. The tires were just barely fitting through the squeeze. However, it was his fenders that now became the challenge. There's a slight ledge right where his fenders bulge out, and so we finally had to make the call. To avoid body damage, we'd have to avoid the squeeze today.
All right, we tried. We gave it a good effort, and you know, it was the wheelbase that we were most concerned about him not being able to get through. But honestly, it ended up being the fenders. We were just gonna rip off one of his wide fiberglass fenders if we would have gone through there. So we're gonna go all the way around and hit Anza Borrego from the other side, and then continue on and on his route and filming that route. And then I don't know if we're gonna go to a place called Valley of the Moon tonight or if we'll do it tomorrow, but we've still got some really, really cool spots ahead of us, and we still got another night of camping. So we still got, the adventure continues, guys. I've had the camera off for a while because we've been backtracking. We were on the road, went and got fuel, and we've been coming down the trail because what we wanted to do is get as close to Pinion Mountain as possible so we could turn around and continue sharing the adventure for the Rocklander route. Well, we were coming up here and we stopped here at Split Rock, and Nate was like, I think I smell oil. Nate, what'd you find, my friend?
The filler neck for the oil is come off, so we don't know where it is, but maybe whenever we drive back we'll see it. So we need to figure out a way to stop this hole, and I made kind of a weird stopper, and we're gonna try to zip tie it down. It's not great, but it's better than an open hole.
Yep, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Yep, there's an open hole right there, guys. Camshaft is visible.
Sometimes you just have to do whatever works to keep the adventure going, and to Nate's credit, that fix held for the rest of the trip. This is now the third time over the years I've seen a filler neck on a Tacoma brake. It's a known issue. Carrying an extra cap can usually plug the hole directly without the neck. Just for those that have Tacomas, you may want to carry one. We did find the filler neck a few hours later on the trail, but since it was cracked at the base, Nate opted to just leave the plug in. Nate's not only a good friend, but he's a very resourceful dude to have out with you on trips like this. Just a short while later, we reached the base of what is called Cardiac Hill. It's a very, very steep, rutted out hill that is at the end of Pinion Mountain Trail. And this is where we are now going to turn around so Nate can continue to document and record the Rocklander route. We did, however, find some fun obstacles to play on the return trip. That was a fun little rock crawling section that I've always bypassed, but of course, being here with Nate, you know, you got to do it. That was fun. Now, while we were doing that, I kind of had an epiphany. I'm like, We're going to Valley of the Moons tomorrow, and I've done that trail many times over the years, and it's only got a couple little obstacles. It's not really like a hardcore rock crawling trail, and I remembered that there's a place called Rodriguez Canyon, which is on the other side of Ons Borrego. I've only driven past it, I've never done it, but it's a lot like that little section we did, just longer, some bigger boulders, and I think that's exactly what Nate is looking for in this trip, and so calling it audible, and we're gonna finish out the day, and then tomorrow I think we're gonna go check out Rodriguez Canyon, which is gonna be a whole lot of fun, and hopefully we don't break anything. Okay guys, so we made that audible. We drove about an hour to get to camp tonight, and this is a camp spot that I've been at many times, but Nate has never been here, and I was excited to show him this camp spot. And I told him, I'm like, it's Sunday night, there shouldn't be anybody here, so we're driving all the way down to get to this camp spot, which is going to be perfect because it will set us up to be in a good position tomorrow to go to Rodriguez Canyon, and then if we continue down to Valley of the Moons, it's all going to work out. So this is a great spot. So we thought we'd get out here, we'd have it all to ourselves, and well, we don't. And I pulled in and I'm like, oh dude, we got to turn around, there's already people here. Lo and behold, I actually know these guys, and this is John from Agile Off-Road. He's the guy that works on my van. This is Chris. They are van owners. They've been out here wheeling their vans. They got Atlas transfer cases and all kinds of cool stuff. So we're gonna set up camp and hang out with these guys tonight, and then tomorrow we're gonna go hit the rocks again. We've only been here for about 20 minutes. The sun's going down pretty quick, but got camp set up already at the shift pod, the Jeep. There's two vans back there, and they have a grill. We got a little fire pit. Nate's all set up over there. He's downloading all the content from the video he's making. And I started cooking a pretty simple dinner. Just doing, I chopped up a kielbasa, got some potatoes, some carrots, some zucchini, and we'll nibble on that. And we may take advantage of their little barbecue grill that they have set up over there. But it's gonna be a nice night hanging out. It's a happy coincidence we ran into these guys tonight. Guys, it's a beautiful morning. I am 2.5 cups of coffee in. Nate's back here cooking some hash browns and scramble. You sleep well?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
It was a great night. And I'm looking forward to what is in store today. I think we're going to go get after it, and the potential to break something is very likely. Now, I want to mention really quick, guys, that we have TrailRecon hats back in stock over at TrailRecon.com, and I would appreciate it if you go pick up a hat or a shirt and support the channel. That would mean a lot to me. Now, this adventure has been incredible. I mean, we started 4 days ago up in the mountains in the snow, and we had to turn around, and there's just been so many crazy things that have happened along the way. And this has been a little different style video for me because I've been using this smaller camera and I haven't been capturing all of it just because I'm rehabbing this shoulder and I'm, keeping the meds going and trying to keep things easy and not really re-injure it. So Nate has captured all of this, and he has done an amazing job. And so look, if you want to see what we're getting ready to go get after, you need to go check out Dirt Lifestyle here on YouTube. And as soon as the video that he has been making is available, I will put the link down below in the description. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and I've already had a blast. It's always a good time being out with Nate. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed hanging out with me for this video. Until next time, safe travels.